get like a minute of this. We're on an intro though, so. Three, two. Hello! Welcome, friends, family, enemies, to the Tick Pod and Arc Raiders podcast. Today may be a little different than usual, and by a little different than usual, instead of it being the Tick Pod, the Arc Raiders podcast, it's more like a Destiny podcast with a little bit of Arc Raiders sprinkled in. So the only other difference we got going on, and I don't know if you can tell out the gate, there's no Coda today. And that's really weird because really it's Coda's podcast and I just get the guest on it every week. But it's very, very nice that that we have somebody to step in and be a special co-host today. A Lord who champions the health is wealth for gamers movement. A man who's unafraid to put fellow guardians on probation, even if it's uncalled for. A fearless leader of the Iron Lords podcast clan, a master of legendary introductions, blessing every podcast guest with the entrance worthy of royalty, a warlock at heart, a man who's traveled all the way to Butler, Pennsylvania for the sole reason to meet me. Lord Cognito, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I know it's nowhere near the intro you deserve, but it's all I got. So thank you.
A pleasure. Long overdue. You're my brother. And first of all, thank you for the intro. And I was really good. You actually took me back memory lane because, Butler was where it happened, right? And shout out to
PA.
LSM. Yeah, Butler, PA, LSM, and the homie DJOros pulls up. And at this point, we're raid mates. We're playing Destiny all the time. And it really touched me in the sense like, yo, fam pulled up, you know what I'm saying? And that's the friendship starts and the teasing and the hilariousness. And we've just been cool ever since. And apologies for taking so long to finally bless the realm of a Tick Pod. But I am here.
We're happy.
You know what I mean?
We're all happy. Yes. We're happy. And this was an off week for us. We weren't initially going to do a pod. And, then you connected and I was like, you know what? This seems like a great time to talk some Destiny and get some stuff going here. So
yeah.
And this and you know what? That history all after the probation. Do you know how long that probation was during COVID? It felt like a century.
Oh man. Are we gonna inform them of the probation?
Well, I mean, there was things that happened that I did not do. Okay. I don't want to be any part, but I was associated with. And
yeah, you were associated. So where I'm from, I'm from the South Bronx. So basically, if one of your people shot at me, but you didn't have that to do with me, y'all all shot at me.
Then you know what? All right, that makes sense.
Shout out to Ty Guy Travis. Shout out to Ty Guy Travis, who's really the catalyst.
It is his fault. Right.
It is his fault. So I just applied Brock's rules on you at the time.
Okay.
And for those who don't know, this was during the days of Trials of Osiris, very competitive 3v3 mode. Me and you were cool at that point, but I think we just happened to be matched up against each other, by the power of matchmaking.
Most exciting day of my life, and then the worst day of my life.
So the story goes, for those listening to the Tick Pod, is that I was on the opposite team. You know, obviously, I believe it's Travis and obviously DJ, and I don't know who who was the third.
Wait, no, real quick. It wasn't Travis. Travis was just informed that we were playing against each other. It was Tapito, Lord Tapito, and Mickey
Tapito,
Hinge, my English friend Mickey.
Yes,
and they were they were less nice
Yes, yes. They
Then,
weren't cordial. They weren't cordial at all.
well, they've never won a game of Trials before, and this game they did seem to have the
Yes.
upper hand.
They did win. You guys did
Right.
win. Let's just be clear. The history does represent that the
Yeah.
win went down.
Right.
What surprised me is I'm
No.
like, oh, that's DJ. Oh, that's cool. Right. So then the loss goes down, and like one of the rounds, I just felt the bags. The tea bags started to come out.
and Lord Sapito, who's the nicest guy I know, and Mickey Hinge, who's not the nicest guy I know. No, but he's great,
but
and
we like
he's
him.
English.
Got a chance to meet him. Yes, we got it. We did eventually like him.
Eventually, he's in and out of the clan all the time.
All the time.
He has it coming, and so they got me in probation during COVID time.
Yes.
It was a sad, but you know what? It's every good relationship's worth working towards, right?
Yeah, we got past it. We got through it. We got through it. It took a while, but we got through it, and then we realized whose involvement, and then from there, as friends normally do, we come back together stronger than that.
The amount of iron.
Really fought apart. We were just teasing each other.
No, the amount of times I ILP'd and I was like, please, can we be friends again?
That is definitely the history of one of the origin stories with the bestie DJOros and Lord Cognito for sure. Funny stories,
and it's a great way to start because I feel like it's gone such a long to Destiny Besties, right? And that's what we're gonna hopefully maybe one day get a Destiny 3 so we can continue the Destiny Bestie. But
that would be nice.
A lot of today's conversation is Destiny 2 coming to an end, right? So I want to look back and go on a couple things of like, what we remember, what was the good stuff, what was, where we started in Destiny. But before that, I do want to ask you so you run a podcast. You also do, I would say it's a podcast too for Defining Duke. So you run ILP, Iron Lord's podcast, and Defining Duke. And those are the two core things that you run. How does that happen? When did that start for you? What was the ILP specifically? Because like, what was the moment you were like, hey, I would like to talk about this, and I want to make it a frequent thing to talk about.
No, great question. Iron Lord's podcast, obviously the name itself should hint on when the origin of it was around the rise of Iron DLC for Destiny. Prior to this, to be honest with you, I had no interest in podcasting. I used to listen to a few podcasts here and there, but it was never something that I felt was a calling or anything I was going to do. And I'm just, an IT guy that was a geek that loves games, loves to play video games. And what ends up happening is, I'm on Xbox a lot. I'm in Xbox party chats a lot with, close friends of mine. And at the time I had a friend named Anchorman V. Shout out to Anchorman V. Okay. And he basically, he would be in party chats, and he had this kid that would come in. His name was Room to Kill. That was his name. His kid was loud, very opinionated kid.
Okay.
And he would throw all these like things, and I'm like, this guy is wild, ridiculous, but he's funny, and I like him. And me and this Room to kid became close. So I'm like, okay. So then, as we became close, he says, "Yo, you've got a great voice. You should do a podcast." So I said, I'm old. Who wants to listen to some old curmudgeon talk about video games?
Everybody.
I appreciate it. And he's like, nah, man. He said, well, what if we do it together? So I was like, okay, maybe. And I think how it started was, this Room, the kid, kill, who eventually who as Lord Addict.
Okay.
So basically, he says, okay, I'll host for a few episodes, and not for a few. I'll host, and as long as you join it, I'll guest. So we started doing it, and then we was like, well, what are we going to do a podcast about? So it was like, okay, Destiny, and how that started. The reason why our Destiny love actually started was he didn't like Destiny. He initially was an Assassin's Creed guy, which he still is. And I was playing Destiny. I'm like, yo, bro, Destiny is so cool. I love this game. Yo, you got to play it with me. And he's like, I don't like Destiny. I heard it's this and I heard. I'm like, bro, but did you play? And I was like, have you done a raid? He's like, no. So I was like, all right, how about this? I'll play your game, Assassin's Creed Unity, but you got to play my game and you got to do a raid with me. That's how it started. And he never played Assassin's Creed Unity.
It was done for after that.
So,
That
bro, every week, please, you ask your question. You're gonna say.
the similarity though, because I was with Addict at that point. Destiny wasn't I wasn't it wasn't it. It did
Mhm.
not hit for me. And then somebody was like, "But have you done a raid?" And I was like, "I don't even know what that is. What are you talking about?" And then they're like, "Hey, come do this raid." And that's when it was like, "Oh, okay, I get it, I get it,
Bro,
I get it.
yeah.
I'll never play Sea of Thieves again." You know, that's it
Oh, so
wasn't
you
it
see
it
these
wasn't
before?
it,
You
wa-
see
it
before
wasn't it
Destiny?
probably wasn't Sea of Thieves before
It was
Destiny,
some other
but
game.
it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
something else. But
Yeah, definitely something else. But yeah, that's how it started. So he literally fell in love with raids. I fell in love with raids, and as you know, me and you've done raids before. It's just a magic. Like Destiny's a weird game because it's one of those games that prior to raiding, the game holds your hand, the game tells you what to do, this, that, the third, and there's something about the magic that it's the only activity at its time that allows 6 people.
right,
So you're like, yo, and then the fact that, there's mechanics, the game doesn't hold your hand. There's boss battles, there's DPS checks, and then there's those moments of wonder where it's like, okay, how do you defeat this thing? What's the challenge? What do we have to do? What are the tells, right? Then when we figure out what the mechanics are, it's that trust of your brother. It's like, okay, DJ, you
uh-huh.
you stand there. All right, I got you, bro. All right, then you're gonna do this, and then usually what it does is it all culminates. I think where the magic came from me is that I think we did Vault. One of my favorite moments is everyone's doing their things that they're going into the you know how you went into the warp and then everyone's doing a different timeline or whatever.
Hmm,
Then
hmm.
they come back to the main room, and then my favorite part, DJ, is jumping to the platform together, throw down the well or whatever it is, and DPS phase. And I just think it's just amazing,
It's
bro. Yeah, yeah.
it is the figuring it out together, right? And then also for me, every video game I talk about every week is just playing with people, right? I'm not I love single player games, but it's the talking to my friends and but then to be able to be like, "Yo, Sin, I noticed you didn't do as much damage as I did on this one."
Oh, it's the
You know,
funnest. Yes.
just the
The
messiness back and
game
forth,
within the game.
the silliness
Yes.
back and forth. And even if it's not sincere, even if it's Sin, even if it's not like, but it is fun to give that little back and forth to the
Yes.
people you're playing.
Yes.
And then you have something to talk about. And you said the magic is
Yeah.
those moments, and it's like some of the moments you'll never forget. I mean,
Never
doing
forget.
King's Fall, yelling snipers in 10, there was no need to yell snipers in 10. Like you could all see it on the screen, but it was a clan name at some point for that game.
Yes.
So it is those small, like the raids are big, and you're right.
Mhm.
They didn't hold your hand. They were like, get in there and figure it out. But that was it.
Yeah.
So bring it. So all right. So you run it. You brought Addict in,
Brought a
and then
addict in.
uh-huh.
And then from there, we then obviously the love for Destiny is at its height, D1. And then we're like, okay, well, we're gonna do a podcast talking about it. And basically at the time it was just me and him. And we had
Okay.
2 clanmates. Shout out to Lord SWAT Force, and then we had Lord Zero ILP. So at the time, he was named Lord Sleet, and it was us 4 initially, and it was a Destiny only podcast,
Okay.
and we just talk about Destiny things we would like. We had a different intro. It was wild, and nobody listened to us. But
I bet I would have loved it.
it's funny. I think we Addict may have scrubbed the episodes from YouTube, but we still have them on SoundCloud. If you go to SoundCloud,
Okay.
they exist. But anyway, long story short, then that became ILI, which was Iron Lord's Intervention, which is like we grab someone who has no attachment to Destiny, and we'd be like, why aren't you playing Destiny? It was like Iron Lord's Intervention. It was like,
Mm.
hey, this maybe you should try this, and we'll do this with you. So that started, and then once in a while, once we started to get a little bit of traction, then people were like, look, we love you guys, but the Destiny love is a little bit too much for us. Do you talk about other games? And then that kind of made us expand, and then we became a variety podcast. And then after that, Sweet and Slot, their schedules, life kind of got in the way, and then thus I reached out to King, which is actually my cousin,
Mm-hmm.
Solve, which was actually my best friend since the 3rd grade, and that's where the Iron Lords that started out. They came in around, let's say, episode 20 or something like that, right?
Okay.
And then from those episodes on, that iteration of Iron Lords that from now to is what everyone
that was
else
the crew.
knows.
That was the core from 20 on.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely. And they came
love
on
it.
as guests. And they came on as guests first. And
That
I introed them as guests.
I love it though. Like, and
Yeah.
but that's the natural development for it. And then you're not just you're a network. You guys review games. You have a whole. It's insane the amount that goes on over on the ILP. It's
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
So well done.
Thank you. Yeah, man.
Congratulations and
Yeah, thank you.
appreciate
Reviews.
you.
Appreciate you too, man. Reviews, previews, and then obviously we have Iron Lords podcast, and we have Lords of Gaming, which is the media outlet, that the website and stuff like that. We get press conventions, we go to shows, we go to conventions, we do all type of events and things of that nature. We were honored to be part of the New York Video Games Critics Circle. We do award shows, stuff like that. Obviously we've been to DICE, GDC, Tokyo Game Show. This year will be our first time we're doing Germany and Gamescom, so we're super hyped for that. And we're definitely proud. You're definitely proud. We work very hard. And it was one of those things that very humble beginnings. First of all, we're small, we're independent, right? And it was one of those things where when we first started, I remember when it was like 5 people in the chat. And I get mad. I call my cousin up. So I call him like, yo, y'all wasn't in the chat today. What's up? You know what I'm saying? That's why shout out to Sinister. Sinister was always there from day one. Because I always tell people, yo, if you're my friends, what I'm saying, how y'all not,
Take a look,
just
guys.
look.
How am I? Yeah, right.
Just give us a view. So give me a like and then dip.
Sin is a real one because anytime we do anything, and that's why he guests on here all the time. I love having him around.
I saw him.
He's the best. When he's in your corner, when you're not picking on him about damage, he is absolutely one of the. He's willing to help anybody do anything, and that is the best. He's got great characteristics, and I love having him around. So
absolutely, and the joke, running joke, as as in those party chats, is like, I think minus you, because you. Everyone in the clan mostly has Sinister's name on their guns in terms of like a carry or help or raid. Because honestly, outside of you two, like you two probably in the clan were the ones who would consistently help everyone. And what I love about you guys, legitly have fun doing it. You'd be like, hey, let's grab you. Come on, what you got to do? What you need today? Come on, we're going to run them through. And I'm like, wow, like that's the part of the clan that I miss the most, because it really showed that giving side, and the fact that you had, like, it didn't matter who it was. You guys helped to make sure everyone, got through the raid or got through an exotic mission or something difficult. And that's what made it fun. And obviously said those moments where even during stressful times where we're losing consistently at a boss or a checkpoint, that moment of silence at the darkness screen. And then we look at the numbers, right? And everybody, it's quiet because everybody look who got the lowest number, so we can blame that person for why we're failing.
Poor Simple, man. I love you, Simple. You're the heart of the team, but I'm gonna call you out every time for not doing that damage. No, it's such a good time. And then not to just side jump here, but also with the last word. How long running with another Destiny podcast and hosting and inviting me to, even though I'm just a jabroni, to come in and talk stuff and eat some bugs on camera. Like it was a good time. Like, I don't know. I just,
No, for sure. Thank you for reminding me. Last word. We just did our last episode. We did the last word, said a week ago. What a run. And that was, so basically what happened was Iron Lords podcast, like I said, we start to grow, right? But our fan base was like, hey, we love when you talk Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, that Destiny stuff. So I'm like, damn, it's like you love something, but you got no one to share it with.
Right.
And everyone else is kind of falling off of it a bit, except me. Like, I'm like, I still like it. This was probably D2 now. D2 comes out, strong launch, but then it kind of start to fade after launch, because remember, no random rolls. Ooh. Right?
Yeah, that was what they were giving us. Every gun was the same gun.
Yep, Better Devils times 10, right? And then I remember the time when we used to do dudes didn't even have to do the raid. They would go to Hawthorne and get raid weapons. Remember that? That was like cheating. Yeah, we were like, oh, this dude didn't even do the raid. He in the clan, he just eating up raid.
He's just picking up those weapons for free. That's for crazy. Free.
Right? And then that was when abilities was so slow. It was just and it was no Trials of the 7. It was Trials of the 9, right? It was 4 plays, which is a little different. That's right. The lady with the one sock, I didn't know how I felt about her. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, You remember?
Oh
You
yeah,
remember?
I
So,
remember. I remember.
so I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right, this is not as good. Like the campaign was great, but once the honeymoon phase of D2's launch wore off, as a hardcore Destiny fan, we started to see some of the flaws, and I'm like, damn, this sucks, man. They I wish there was somebody to talk to. So at the time, there was this stage I found out it was called Guardian Con, and it was in Florida. And you go to Tampa Bay, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I love Destiny so much. I need to be there. So I take a, like as I normally do, I make these random trips by myself because I love something very much. And then I went, and I'm like, okay, hot ass Florida, and I'm like, we'll
Hot
see what
ass Florida.
bro. It was that like Florida.
It's
It had
different.
ignorant heat. It's not heat. It's ignorant heat.
It's just trying to kill you down there. I would. It's
Yeah.
a. We're both up north. That's
Hmm.
horrible there, and it's hot
Bro.
now. Right now,
Yeah, I said it's
I
hot
can't
now.
imagine what's going on down there. It's gonna be awful.
It's awful because what it is the humidity on top of their heat,
Kills you.
which makes it awful. So I'm sitting there, I'm online, a whole bunch of Destiny fans. I know absolutely no one, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But we walk into the joint, and this is around the time when I think this like Mason Sean. Cactus wasn't even big yet. Cactus,
my cousin
was. Yes, I got your cousin. I had a picture of Cactus and me. I put it up on Twitter not just recently because everybody's reminiscing right now because we know Destiny's over.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh my god," he's like super skinny. And I remember
What?
he was the coolest. Oh, bro, he was the coolest dude. No, I was sitting, I'm like, "Yo, that's Rick Cactus."
That makes sense.
And he was on the rise back then, but he wasn't like because I think who the big guys it was like Dado, Lono.
Don't you dare.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
At the time,
okay.
Guardian. What was the name of them? They was called the Guardian. It was DCP. Remember they had their podcast.
Okay.
That was Tefty, Holtzman, and Miss 5,000 Watts and them.
Yeah.
And
Fire
then it
Team
was.
Chat. Was that a?
Oh yeah, Fire Team because it was Legary. Travis wasn't there yet. It was Legary.
Yeah, he was later.
Fred
later.
Fred Marabella, and the other kid, Sean Finnegan, because I met them. I got pictures with them. And what ends up happening is I'm waiting online for one of these guys. Guardian Radio was the old crew, right? So I was waiting for online for Guardian Radio, one of those things. I was like, oh, that's cool. I listen to them. And while I'm online, I see this other kid there. And he's like right in front of me. So happened to be, he bought this, which I didn't know at the time. So I'm like, oh, this guy knows Destiny. He's cool. And we're just talking Destiny hard. I'm talking about geek hardcore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like him. He knows Destiny well. You know what I'm saying? So we kick it. And obviously, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely the Cavs came into play.
Well, I was going to say, shout out to you. Boy, before you even, how dare you? I mean, I was just going to say.
Because one thing, when it came to all of my friends, as a person who works out, I could appreciate the calf development. So I was like, oh, this guy works out. And
second best calves around. Second best calves around. Yeah. And I'll tell him that today.
So I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Thank you.
So that when because out of all my friends, there's only two people I know with who have very high calf development and work out or do like cardio or do skating and stuff like that. Yeah. So I was like, wow, let me tell DJ about this because there's somebody that everybody have rival.
Wilhelm says, okay, it's fine. Well, Ebontis, I'll get you later. Don't worry. But Ebontis, what a guy though. Like, so meeting up with him because he's genuinely. We met up at after Butler, right? We met up at Guardians Con, GCX, the Leviathan, the Margaritaville,
aka Rose and Shingle Creek, which they should have never went away from.
Creek. Oh,
yes,
right. I'm glad I got to be there for it because it did. It felt like I don't know, just the party style there.
All the bars next to each other. So, I'm interrupting.
You keep interrupting. That's what you're supposed to do. But Ebontis just the whole time, like coming up and chatting with us, and he made it out of his way. And it's like, I how much did I know right at that time? But he would always come up. He'd be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? What's going on? What's the next step? We want to go in here and do this together." It was just what a guy. Like, I absolutely love him. I bought a monitor from this man.
Yes, bro. He is so cool. And like I said, we just had developed a friendship right then and there. And I remember maybe. I think same kind of thing. Like we hung around each other most of that convention, and then we're just figuring. It was his first time, my first time. We're just figuring things out, and then I think I would say it maybe a couple of weeks. It wasn't that long. Well, I approached him. I'm like, look, bro, do you want to do a Destiny podcast? I would love to do it. I have no one to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, hell yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we figured it out. Initially, It was a show. It was on Iron Lord's podcast channel, right?
Okay. Okay.
Initially, and then what ends up happening is, um, he starts to really blow up. I'm gonna think like right around. Remember when Whisper the Worm came out?
Yeah. What a great, one of the best things to ever happen in Destiny.
One of the
But
best
yes.
secret missions, yeah. And he put out a guide, and at that time, he was growing. He was still bigger than me, but he was growing. And I remember at that point, his channel just took off, and that was his first viral event. I was so proud of him. So I said there to myself, I'm like, look, I can have an ego about this and be like, it's my podcast and it needs to stay on my channel and I need the views. But I was like, I want the show to be better. So I'm like, you know what? And I approached him. I said, hey, how about this? How about we put Last Word on your channel, right? If you're cool with it, right? And then take it from there. And he's like, absolutely. He was like, are you sure, bro? I'm like, yeah, man, let's get this thing big. And then that's when we started really going for it. We was like, okay, let's get guests. And at the time, we were not Last Word. We were Flashpoint because
That's right.
every week, I don't think it was called the TWAB at that time. They used to call it Flashpoint. I remember Bungie would have a thing called Flashpoint during D2. So we just kind of mimicked that. Or maybe I think that was just like name of one of the activities in D2. Excuse me. I think that's what it was. And we just mimicked it after that. So that went on for a while. And we grew, we started getting guests, and then he started reaching out to people in the Destiny community, and then we started having, the who's who. I think we pretty much had everyone on it. With Cactus, you,
yeah, well, everybody. Yeah, me and my cousin, both on.
And your cousin on, yeah.
That's
we had
crazy.
so many people, and then what was really special for me was when Bungie started to come on. We had Sky Lewin who did the music and stuff like that for D2, a lot of that stuff. We've had Jimmy Myers. This guy did the Incision mission and Final Shape. We had what's my man? Oh, I forget his name now. He was so cool. He was like a director.
Okay.
Like we started to get he even told me, he's like, if you ever play Destiny and the Cabal missions and the Cabal part drops on your head, I apologize.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah, he was like, that was part of me programming. It was so cool, man. We've had so many people, Bungie Foundation, and yeah, as it went on, it just got better and better. And then I want to shout out my boy Scarrow9, because Scarrow9, huge Destiny content creator. And he was the one, I forgot, because I think we was like, we need to change the name. I forgot why the name changed, but I was like, we need something cooler or something. I don't know what happened, but we came up with Last Word. But then we started researching, like, yo, that actually exists already. And Scarrow had it, but I guess he started a Destiny podcast called Last Word, but then he didn't continue it anymore.
Okay.
So we reached out to him, like, hey, bro, because we didn't want to get in trouble. That's what we was like, yo, let's, so then that's what we did. And then he was like, hell yeah, go ahead, bro, knock it out. We was like, word, like, we ain't gotta pay you, we ain't gotta do, like, he's like, bro, you the fam, we ain't doing nothing with it. I was like, so no one could tell me nothing about Scarrow now, because he could have Hollywooded us. He could have, content strike us and all that other stuff. He did none of that. He was just the coolest. Let it go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to him.
Shout out all around. Yeah. Like and I feel so so you were Flashpoint, then you went to you changed the Last Word. It's crazy though, because how was the decision made for Flashpoint? Was that just like, were you like, all right, just something in the game, or what was because all right, so hear me out though. We were, so we do the Tick Pod in our Creators podcast, right? And I'm talking to my good buddy Coda. He's the one that runs this podcast. We're like, all right, well, we need to come up with a name, right?
Yep.
And we're going around and we're just like playing the game. We just keep throwing stuff back and forth at each other. And at some point, it's like probably a week into us trying to figure it out, before even we did like a dry run of the podcast. I kill a tick on the green. I said on the ground, I go to open it up and it's like, it says, oh, Tick Pod. And I was like, oh, it's the moment. It's like, yeah, right, exactly. And the name's just like, all right, well, you know what? And no matter what this becomes, I'm glad that it started off as the Tick Pod, because, it seems like it fits so well. And I don't know, like stuff like that. Very interesting to me, because how you got to where you were and how it decided and everything like that. And the Last Word is great. It's a great gun. And saying the last word, you got the final say, right? Like you can close it out.
Hell yeah. Yeah. It's literally the same kind of the thing that how you and Coda, you took me back, because it was that me and E were kind of like brainstorming. We're like, what's going to be the name? What's going to be the name? So we couldn't think of stuff. And then at the time, now that I'm researching it, Destiny 2 flashpoints were in the game. There was part. Remember how you had bounties? There was a
Oh.
thing called flashpoint, and it said a weekly milestone of activity that you had to do every week. You had to either complete public events, patrols, and lost sectors in a rotating destination. They eventually removed flashpoints from the game, but at the initial start of Destiny 2, that's what they were called. So I'm like, yo, what about flashpoint? And he was like, yeah, okay, we can rock with that. Now I would have to ask E. I'm trying to remember what made us go off of Flashpoint to then Last Word.
Right.
But
Why the
maybe it was just
change?
something. Yeah, why the change? I gotta ask E about that. Like, why did we change it? Don't get me wrong. I'm so glad we did.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Kind of thing. But then I remember going through that period again of like, okay, what do we name it? We start, throwing out names, this, that, and the third. And I think if I'm gonna quote, E will correct me if I'm wrong. But I think I did say, how's Last Word sound? Like, I said, Last Word, the gun. And I'm a Last Word guy. I used to like that gun when you do the, you know
Oh
what I'm
yeah, oh
saying?
yeah, oh yeah.
So I was like, yo. But then I think he was like, but this sounds very argumentative. And I was like, but we do be, we get spicy
Yeah, yeah, right,
sometimes.
right,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So I was like, he's like, all right. And then that's when we started researching. Then we were like, okay, who has it? And I think there was like a political commentary show that was called Last Word. And then, but I think we was able to finagle it where it's like, okay, ours is different because of the whatever it was. But then we looked at said, who in the Destiny community has it? And then that's when we saw Scarrow. And that's when we said, you know what? As a courtesy, we should reach out because we don't want any legal smoke.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what we did. And that's when the Scarrow came on. And Scarrow actually been a regular, like I say outside of Teddy, yeah, it's Scarrow and
Oh, Teddy,
Teddy
what
and
a guy,
Scream.
dude.
Scream also let me shout out to Wilhelm Scream.
Who?
Because
I've
yes,
never met him. Is
Wilhelm
it, who
Scream.
is that? Oh,
Well, I
okay.
watched his video and
Uh-huh.
I watched his videos recently and I felt bad because I haven't talked to Scream in a while and I just want to let him know that I love him. I need to reach out to him. I know I got life going on. I'm so busy. But Scream was huge at the time. And I met Scream through E. I would never knew who Scream was. It was through E.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
E. So E introduced me to Scream. Scream was on starts to become a guest on Last Word. And I want to shout him out because me and Scream ended up being more close. And then he obviously joins ILP. Everybody meets him, and stuff like that. And I will never forget because he's one of what I consider the first big content creator we ever really had on the show. And he was just regular and chill and normal.
Such
And
a
he didn't
good
try to,
dude.
yeah.
Such
You
a
know how
good
like some
guy.
guys like, I have
Nah,
100,000 subscribers.
yeah.
They like, nah, bro. He was just so regular and so cool. And the only thing he would ask us to do is like little random things, little questionable activities to get
Oh,
items.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
hey,
yeah. You know what?
that's the
It's
homie.
yeah, right, right.
So we would oblige, you know what I'm saying, and help him in the video or whatever. But yeah, I want to shout out Wilhelm Scream. I left a comment. I hope he saw it recently, and I haven't talked to him in a while because obviously life has been lifing. But I want to send him love because he was one of the first big guests and could not be Hollywood with us, always show us love, and then legit became like a cool friend that we would just play Destiny with all the time.
Can I piggyback off of your shout out to Wilhelm Stream because
Yes,
we,
please.
we we started this channel, right, and it's again so I feel similar to like, hey, I have my 5 friends watching, and then you know what, the YouTube does get a little bit of love, which I appreciate everybody who does it and comes in and watch and gives it a like. But Wilhelm every single week will drop a like, he'll make a comment, and he's like, love these boys. And the fact that I
Same,
got to meet him from everything, it's just
bro.
he is
He
a
did
good
the
one, and
same
he's
thing.
there to help everybody out, and it's like,
Everybody out. And not to cut you, but it did make me sad because I listened to his video and you know I felt like he wasn't appreciated and it kind of broke my heart because not saying that we didn't appreciate it, but
right,
I know how much he's given to the Destiny community.
so
And
much.
bro, he like it's just what you said. He would be in every podcast. He would be in the comment section, liking the video. He would even jump on ILP. Like Scream would always be there. So like as far as loyalty and being a good person, nobody can tell me about Scream. And also, like I said, I think he needs to hear that. You know what I mean? Because at
Yeah,
the end of the day, I saw his video and he said, look, right now, obviously because of Destiny's situation, this could be, his last. And it did break my heart because I was just like, man, like he needs to know people love him.
he's
You know what
such
I'm saying? So shout out to Scream.
and it is, and he's such a core pillar to the content creators of Destiny, to the point where I join ILP. I have my good friend Cletus Momitas. We're in a raid with Wilhelm Scream the night before,
Yes.
and I think Cletus jumped into the party. He wasn't involved in the raid. The following day, I get a message from Cletus, "Hey Dave, you should check out these videos from Wilhelm Scream." Not under realizing that he was in the party with us.
Yes.
And
Oh,
he's like,
he
didn't know, and he was like, "You should check." I was like, "Dude, you were in the party with him last night. And like, I don't know. It's just again, all around, just good dude.
Yeah.
He's always there to support.
The best.
He's always willing to jump on the Tick
Yes.
Pod, and I
Yes.
wish he would just put his face on camera, because it would
Yes.
make me feel better about bringing him on here. Not that it's the only thing that's important. That's not all about that, but it's, sometimes you gotta show a little face. That's all I'm saying. He's a beautiful man.
He did. He is, and he did. He did it for us. You got to tell him it's a precedent. We have him at
on
least
cam
2 times on the last word. It took a while, but he did join last word with the camera. Those episodes exist, so he has done it before.
I know what I'm doing after this. I'm going to be reaching out, buddy.
Yeah, we can do some blackmail. I'll get you the video files.
Please send me the.
We got you at 4K.
4K. You caught on 4K. I love it. All right, so last word. ILP. Last word was great because you got a little bit more Destiny Central, because again, ILP's covering everything, which you do. You have after that, right, is Defining Duke, right? Yeah, that's a little bit later.
Yeah, that was later. That was big. So that started because Attic and I would try to reach out to guests and stuff. One thing we like about is, look, we like Xbox, obviously we have a preference and stuff like that, but at the same time we cover all the games. But we wanted to start reaching out to people who, obviously cover PlayStation or cover Nintendo or whatever. And at the time, Colin's huge. So I think at the time, this was like post-Colin controversy. I'm not going to get into the whole controversy. He made a jokey tweet and it went viral, and people, had feelings about it. But I would say after that, a lot of people didn't reach out to him, and then he kind of just stood on his own network and whatever. Okay. So I remember Adam was like, "Yo, you think we should reach out to Colin?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was like, "It would be dope to get his perspective, especially from PlayStation and yada yada yada." So Attic tried, and then we didn't hear anything back. But Attic, he don't take no for an answer.
It doesn't sound like him at all.
At all. So Attic gonna keep sending messages or whatever, and I think Colin did respond one time, and then we're like, "All right, cool, let's get him on." So we get him on. The episode goes viral. It was amazing, and it was the first time Colin did a guested on a podcast in years, and we just wanted to let him know, bro, you feel the love. People still rock with you. It's all good, and it's all good to have people of different opinions on a show, as long as everybody's respectful, right?
Right.
That's what it's about, right? Because at the end of the day, we all brothers and sisters. We're gamers. That we love to play video games. So at the end of the day, that's what it's about. So that episode goes viral. Then I remember there was a show, obviously Defining Duke. There was a dedicated Xbox with Mr. Matty Plays, and at the time, ACG. I don't know, you know who ACG's character is.
I do.
Yeah. So I believe how it goes is then they reach out to me. You know what I'm saying? And I would say this is around the time my profile is starting to rise, right? Okay. I was on that. Kind of Funny reached out to me. I was on Kind of Funny. IGN reached out to me. I'm on IGN Unlocked. Shout out to Desalegary, and they reached out to me. I'm on. I was about to. I was like, "Whoa!" I was on Fire Team Chat.
Yo, what
bro? It was everything was kind of happening for me at that year. And I will never forget, the Fire Duke reached out to me. We had a ball of an episode. So I would say a month after the episode, I saw a message, and ACG made an announcement. Hey, he's leaving Defining Duke. And then that Maddie was like, they're looking for a co-host, right? So I remember talking to Rand Outdoor, and they were like, yeah, they're looking for a co-host. And I was like, yeah, I wonder who they're going to get. Right? So I'm sitting there it ain't me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm I don't have, I'm thinking, they're going for a guy, with a million subscribers. Carrick is huge. ACG is huge. He's one of the best reviewers in the game, and his profile is huge. So on my mind, they're going to look for someone who is a massive following, who is got videos and all this other stuff, which I don't do. I just podcast. So anyway, Rand is one of the first people to say, he's like, bro, they're going to hit you up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Get out of here. I
Man
laughed
with a
him out.
million. How could you
Yep.
laugh him out? You can't laugh that man out. He's got a
I
million.
laughed. I laughed, Red. I said, bro, they are not picking me. I was like, I don't even have my own YouTube channel as an individual. Second, I don't do videos. And third, even with the podcast, as much as we're respected, and not downing ourselves, but a lot of this stuff is number driven, right? So people usually only want to associate with people of the same weight class of numbers. So I'm sitting there like, nah. But bro, I'll never forget. It was a DM one day. I like maybe
Slid
2
into the
days later.
DMs.
Yeah,
No
somebody,
way.
Mr. Matty Plays slid in the DM and said, "Hey, bro, you mind if we, have a couple minutes to talk? I'd like to, talk to you about." And I'm like, "Is this what I think it is?" Like, so yeah. Then we had the meeting and we started to work things out. And I just said, "Look, at the time, I was I believe working at Meta. I just started to work at Meta, I think. And I just said, hey, schedule wise, I just gotta work it out because what day, whatever. And then I had the meeting with Colin, and I told Colin, I was like, look, love you guys. This is an awesome opportunity. I just wanted to be clear, my opinions tend to be different from everyone else's. So, but I love you, you know what I'm saying? But I respect this. I just want to be clear about that so that, because I don't want my voice to be stifled.
Right.
I not that he was, but I wanted to make it clear where my perspective was. And he was like, absolutely. We value different opinions and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then I said, okay, we got to pick a day that works around my schedule. Wednesday ended up being the day. And then we started, the negotiations for the contractual part, because obviously this is a paid situation, which was super, super cool. And then I became, Defining Duke with Mr. Matty Plays.
And it's been for a long time running now.
Yeah,
It's
for a while.
It's obviously prior Butler.
Yeah, prior to Butler, because and I was still fairly new around that time to Defining Duke, I feel.
Well, you guys did, it was that live show, and I mean, and also shout out Mr. Matty Plays, super nice guy. He we went out and we grabbed food, and he did, and we got them fake ass margaritas, they have no alcohol. What are we even doing? But but it was still great. There's no, he had no business being, having to do that, and he came out with us, and super nice guy. And
oh yeah, you're right. It was like four of us, right?
Yeah.
And then we did dinner together. Yeah, that was my first live show.
Okay.
And it was in Butler, and then they had like I think after they had like the meet at the park or something or whatever.
Yeah, like a little meet and greet action.
Yeah, meet and greet. Yeah, that's what it was. And I was like signing stuff. I was like, yo, I've never signed anything before. Everything's my first. But then when you pulled up,
well,
it was, and we still have the iconic picture.
Clearly. Yeah, I would say iconic. Yeah, I think that's what it was pretty iconic. My favorite,
Please get say what you guys say.
My favorite comment on the photo is, get yourself a man who looks at Cognito like DJ looks at Cognito. And that's the funniest. It was hilarious. It was a great moment. It was a great photo. And I got somebody in the background giving a little.
We have a classic Chris Ray Gun photo bomb with a hilarious look on his face. It is a classic picture. The picture goes down in history just because of these three things.
It'll be up at the end of the video on YouTube.
Please,
we'll throw it up there. But, absolutely awesome. So you have too much going on, realistically.
A lot.
Where do you sleep? Never during the day.
Me and you. Normally our conversations always be like at 1 a.m. or something. That's probably like the only time I get a chance to breathe and respond to text messages.
I was like, we still good, because I got done with work, and I was like, you know what? Oh crap! He told me to we still good, and it's like 2:45. You're like, yeah, 3 good. And I was like, yeah, we're good. We're good. I'm like, oh my god, I'm falling asleep.
The funny thing is, like, we both sometimes, or you technically shouldn't be a night owl, which is hilarious.
Right. But you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. And I'm the night owl, so then sometimes it is funny when both are up at the same time. So we have this little code where we'll be like, sneaky sneaks. And you'd be like, yeah, all right, come on, jump on right there. Let's do this, that, and the third. And then that'll be on time to catch up and stuff. And I do miss those moments because it was so much fun. And a lot of time, that's the beauty of Destiny, is that the game is amazing, right? But a lot
Yes.
of time, it's about catching up with your homie,
Mm-hmm.
right? And just seeing what's going on with life. Let's see. And while you're playing, you're catching up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that part is so much fun too. And those are the things I am gonna miss the most about Destiny. Like it's a brotherhood. It's everybody. It's family, and just seeing what's going on. And I think it's a period of our life we will never forget.
Right.
At its best, it's
And
one of those things.
and so unique, right? And I think that Destiny made it easier to have those moments than any other game. Like I don't, we'll talk about it. I don't think you're having those same moments in Fortnite, right? You're going on, you're jumping, you're playing, you're having fun playing the game, but you're not having those catch up moments. There's not the small downtime while we wait because Simple fell off the ledge, or if because he can't jump. Simple, I love you for the record, and go Canada. I hope you guys do great in the World Cup. But I have to slander Simple every time we talk Destiny.
Yes. Yes.
But it is unique. So let's jump into my next bit here. Destiny and Destiny 2, right? The 10-year game. Yeah.
Yeah.
What again, part of what we just said, what made it a 10-year game? I know that was their vision to give us content for that long. I mean, they want to make money, right? But it was unique because there were so many Destiny killers out there that were going to be the new game that were going to take the real Destiny killer is Marathon, but Anthem was close. I'm just kidding. It was a close second. I don't mind Marathon actually. It's just not the same. But like, what was it for you? What was in your mind? What made it have that life? Was it just what we've been talking about? The moments, the raids, the diversity. Like, what's
well for me? Let's start with the basics, right? The basics is this is the creator of Halo, right? So Halo for me, I'm not a PC guy initially, so. Halo was the first console first-person shooter that I really played and gravitate towards. And the reason why is the feel, the gunplay, the weight, and
so
what I consider the core of it. When it comes to shooting guns,
right?
To me, there's nothing that feels better than a Bungie game, in my opinion. There are others that are close. You got the CODs. When it comes to first-person shooting, the way the gun feels, the way the guns sound, the unique sounds of each weapon. Remember when you get the last one, it would sound very distinct. If you got, another gun, kind of thing. And it's just like, it's those little things, right? And then even the way the guns look, the designs. Think about the weapon, how beautiful a lot of these weapons. Like, remember when Black Armory weapons first came out? You're like, oh my God, look how this looks. So just, you get a raid weapon, you get your favorite raid, right?
You better believe it.
That's why I bought a shirt.
King's
I know. I remember.
Yeah,
I know how you
snipers in 10.
Snipers in 10. Remember when you first got what Quellim's Terminus or the hand cannon, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you sit there and you look at the jagged edges of it, you know what I'm saying? And just
so unique to that situation, right? It's just like they work so well with that, especially early on. And it's hard once you're making so much content to try to be different. I know there's I'm sure copy and paste later on, but you're right. Everything did feel unique as you were going different.
In there. Now you throw perks on it. Okay, what type of gun did you get? Did you get it? This does it have Rampage? Does it have
Firefly?
This? And then,
you got Firefly.
You got Firefly in your jet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got explosive payload. You need explosive payload. You know what I'm saying? So it's like then that's the game for me who loves build crap. See, that's what people don't realize. Like Destiny, the game itself, from a shooting standpoint, from a skybox standpoint, from a music standpoint,
the skybox.
Really, the skybox.
I don't know if that's talked about enough. Like, it is beautiful.
Thank you for saying that.
Everything every time you load into anywhere, right? Just the skybox looks so good.
And then Destiny just is home. Like Destiny's a game, for whatever reason, it relaxes my stress of the day. Like, so you have a hard day at work. Think about when you launch that title screen and then you're in orbit and you just hear that music.
You're so immersed in what's going on in front of you. And you're just like, everything else does it. Yeah, you know what? It was a bad day, but now, you know what? And we're going to link up with the boys and it's going to have a nice little raid action.
It's just, there's nothing like that. Again, it's the testament to the world that Bungie has created.
So the social systems, right? The way you connect with people in the game, the way it looks, the way it feels. Again, they hit it. They hit it so,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
but they did have bad spots, right?
of course,
So hear me out, because I'm trying to parallel this to Embark and Arc
Mhm.
Raiders a little bit
Sure,
later,
break it
but
down.
right now, in the beginning, Destiny
Mhm.
1 was good. The
Yeah,
PvP was
good.
there, but we've talked about it, but not on
Mhm,
here.
mhm,
I'm a Halo guy. That's where I
mhm.
came from, and I was like, this is not Halo. This
Yes,
doesn't feel good. This was not what I wanted. Where's the PvP? I'm getting destroyed. And I'm like, I'm not simple. I'm like better. I didn't know simple at that point, but I'm better at PvP than this. What's going on?
yeah,
And then it did take to the point where it was like, hey, you got to come try a raid and learn about this. And
yes,
there was the
yes,
more development to it. But year one
absolutely.
didn't have a whole lot, right?
I agree. No,
Like
good call.
we were killing what's his name over and over again. The fallen, we've killed him 400 times throughout this game, but like it was a slower start out the gate.
Yes.
But they were able to bring it back, and they were able to keep it going, right?
Yeah, no, it's what you said. It basically D1 was about potential. The game at its core felt good, but it was flawed. Let's be clear. Like D1 was very flawed. Like I did not like D1 initially. Like what ends up happening was, like we said, the story became I played it like a regular Halo game, ended the campaign, yay, the little celebration with the speaker, and I'm like, that's it? Like I was not the fan at first. I was just like, okay, I don't see what all the hype is. It shoots good, it plays decently, and the space magic part, I did like the space magic. I like
Oh
space
yeah,
magic is cool. I like
yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying?
He's a
But
warlock.
yeah, I'm a Warlock, you know what I'm saying? And trust me, I came very close. I remember it was I never told you this.
Okay,
I sat at the character selection screen. I look
at the calves.
I look at the calves of the Titan.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, beefy boy, you know you're supposed to be the beefy boy. You know,
Mhm.
so Eddie feels very Master Chiefy. So I'm
Yeah,
like, all
very
right.
much.
So I'm like, all right. That was the lead choice, right? So I said, let me see what the next, what the selections are. So now I look at the choice number 2. I see the Hunter. I'm like, now I'm the gaming ninja, Lord Cognito, the
Oh,
Shinobi.
that's true. That's
Right. So
true.
I'm sitting there like,
That's true.
ooh, ninja, quick, agile. I might do this.
How did we get
So
here?
I see, right? You like, how
Yeah,
did we
now it
get to
makes
what?
doesn't any
Bro,
sense.
you see, right? It really makes no sense theoretically why I became one. I'm gonna tell you what happens. So then I'm like, all right, it's down now to Titan and Hunter. Then I said, let me see what this Warlock is. And mind you, in games, I never take a wizard. I never take any of the magic characters ever in video games. That's not my core archetype. So I get to the joint and I'm looking, and you know what it was, DJ?
I'm ready.
It was him holding the power in his hand.
Mm,
And the way I said, damn, he looked like he different.
he's got
He
it.
got all the
He's got
secrets in
it.
his head. So I was like, damn, I've never picked. That was the first game to make me pick a magic class.
Right.
Because I just thought the way he looked at the character design, and then also I know what it was too. That and then when you pick your race. I thought the Awoken, the blue face guys.
Mm,
I was like, oh, and I'm a Silver Surfer fan, and I like space, and I like Silver
okay.
Surfer. So I
Okay.
was like,
Okay.
think I'm running with this. And it was my first time ever picking that. That's literally, but I came very close to being a Titan or a Hunter. I did become very close. Yeah.
This could have been so different, and I wouldn't have
Yes.
had to change saying I'm a warlock for how many times, and we could have just been hunters together
I
this whole
know we
time.
could have.
But
Yeah.
I've always played as a warlock. I think that's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
I've always
Since
clearly a
after we
warlock.
met,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then you
yeah,
became yeah,
always a
sure.
warlock. Right. Well, I'm not eating crayons, that's for sure. Uh, but
No, let me back you up though.
yeah,
You interviewed me. Let me interview you.
what?
How did you become a hunter?
Well,
I've always wanted to ask you this.
so I think I started as a Titan on
Okay.
D1.
Okay.
And then I started making the other class. Like when my buddy was like, "Hey, you need to try the raid." That's when I restarted another character, and I
Okay.
think it was the movement,
Yeah, the hunters
the
movement.
double jump, yeah,
Yeah.
and I did try all of them, and I've played all. I've had all the characters. I do it all, but
Mhm.
the hunter just felt so smooth, and it
Yeah.
just like
It
the
sure did.
movement for everything felt better, and it was like, oh, I can jump easier on this character than
Yeah.
all of the other
Yeah.
characters.
Especially my character.
Jump, I mean, well,
Because the floofy floof say floofing.
yeah, but if you ask simple, Titans have the worst jump. So, um, So yeah, I think that's
Okay.
the movement was where it was, and I just liked I did like the design. I liked the sleekness. I liked the way it
Mm.
looked, and I think I think I like
I
Kate a
almost
little bit.
betrayed. Yeah, I almost betrayed Warlock the time when I think Destiny 2 introduced swords, and the Hunter was the only one that had the dope little sword
The
run.
little run, yeah,
I was
huh?
like, oh,
Oh,
I was like, damn,
we're gonna
that's ninja stuff. I was like, oh, I'm tempted yo, I ain't
so,
gonna front. I came very close to betraying Warlock and going to Hunter at that point because
but
y'all had that unique animation.
I'm glad you held strong though.
Yes,
Like it
I'm
would be
loyal. I'm a
so
loyal guy.
different. And then okay,
Yes,
so Destiny 1, as we're
yes,
talking,
yes, yes.
the lore, the everything, you had to read it. It wasn't like put out in front of you. It wasn't so
The grimoire.
the right, the cards that you if I wanted to learn
I
anything about
forgot.
this
Oh
game,
my god.
and you were talking about something earlier. You were talking about Flashpoint, right? And one of
Yeah.
the things that I like every time we talk, my cousins, I used to play with my you tricked all of them to playing, we did raids together. I was like, hey,
Frick.
cousin Jimmy, you just sit in the corner, it's fine, we'll do this, like we'll get just, war
Yep.
priest, don't worry about it, we'll do all
So
this
it's
stuff, I'll
sit
do
in
all
the
the jumping,
corner.
just
The
stay over there,
black
yeah, yeah,
magic.
sit on the high chair, it's fine,
Yes.
we're good.
Yep. We got it.
And but every time we did anything, it was the sunrise bounty. I don't know if you remember if you went to the little bounty guy,
Yes.
because it was like the doing the
Yes.
raid of the week or getting, and if you do that,
Yes.
you got a better drop. And the
Yes.
funniest moment that I have from D1 with that is, besides like dancing in the tower and all that, it was, hey, did you grab you got your sunrise bounty, and after we completed whatever it was, they're like, oh,
You
I
forget.
didn't grab it. So we'd go grab it again
Oh.
and do it again for him. But it's like, it reminds me of the Flashpoint moment for D2,
Yes.
where it's like, all right, this was the thing. But
Hell yeah.
D1 again, it started off slow, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Flawed
And
game.
a little bit of a flawed game. The
Mhm.
moments again still make it what it was, but there was a lot for them to improve on, and I think they did that. Now a lot of people, rose tinted glasses, I think, say Destiny 1 was so good, it was awesome, it was this.
Good call out. Yeah, good call out.
I do love the way that you leveled up. I liked that it was more of a grind. I liked that
Ooh.
you had to have a pair of boots that, to upgrade a pair of boots, you had to have the exact same weapon type to upgrade the weapon type, and it didn't even fully upgrade it. It only upgraded it to a certain amount, and I thought that was
Yes.
incredible. I love that. I want the grind. I
You
want
wanted
there
to
to be.
grind. You wanted to run around getting them spin
Yes,
medals.
I wanted it. I wanted it so bad. I loved that part of it because I felt like it was like, okay, you're not everybody should get everything. Now that part of the
Mm.
D1 I loved, because I do think as D2 came along, it was like, here you go. Now I have a friend Cletus Momitas, he couldn't even put pants on in Destiny 1. Like he was like, well, how do I put these pants on? I'm like, what do you mean, how do you put these pants on, dude? Like right, exactly. So, but then D2 comes around, he goes, I got an exotic. I got another exotic. I get it. And
Oh
it was
yeah.
like,
Good
they were
party.
just
Yeah.
like they were like,
Yeah, give it away. You're right. You're
now,
right.
all right. So there was a big, like, besides those small things that I really liked, I do think that they came a long way as far as like narrative and storytelling
Yes.
and everything into D2, like
Mhm.
end of D1. I mean, I loved Wrath, and I loved how like the
Ooh, I
story, like,
love
even with like the
Rad.
Siva's story, felt like there was story
Oh.
to it. And I mean, obviously, you guys enjoyed that one. Um, but like
Killer Zamboni. Come on,
there
man.
was, yes, it was like, right,
And we
exactly.
never
That's
got that to get reprised.
how did we not
That's
get
gonna
that?
break my
That's a
heart.
one of
That's
the
gonna break my heart.
biggest things. It
That's
was just like,
that's the most fun raid to
yeah,
me. That
it was
raid
so
is
good.
fun. I love that raid.
The end of it,
Continue.
and again, it's just like, it's a lot of working together and doing, like, where some of the raids is like, Deepstone Crypt, you can be like, all right, don't worry about it, we got it. But
Right.
so it seemed like most people were doing something in that one, and I love the
Hmm.
engagement. But D2 is where they started to hit that narrative. They started the lore. The cutscenes were even better than, yes, like Taken
Yes.
King cutscenes with Oryx coming down and like slamming the sword and talking to his people. But D2, the cinematics got great. The cutscenes were beautiful. Every trailer was, although I will say I miss the like the live action trailers that
Oh
they
yeah,
used
yeah,
to
yeah.
do.
Live action. Yeah,
I
yeah, I
do
remember
think
that.
those
Yeah.
were good, but
Mhm.
Bungie does cinematics well. I mean, even in
Yes.
Marathon, I love the little
Yes.
cutscenes with these worms and these people that are coming around, and
Yeah.
like the moth and all that stuff. I think it's great. But
Yes.
I think that in Destiny 2 is where they really hit their stride with that, right?
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I was like, yeah, you pretty much nailed it. It's just that's what started to bridge the gap like I said, with because people are like, look, this game has so much potential, but I'm not trying to read no grimoire, right? And why is it buried
Right.
in this? And we had those gaps and just quality of life things that people were annoyed with. And D2 really, especially cinematics and marketing of their trailers of their content, what would come before, like
Incredible.
it was really incredible. I agree.
So 10-year game, right? And there's
Hmm.
not like a lot of long-term games that like I can think of other. So I have a few of Sea of Thieves, I think has lasted a long time.
Hmm.
Destiny is one of them. Fortnite, because there's that grind out, there's that, like Apex Legends, Grand Theft Auto, right?
Yeah.
But not many games make it that long anymore. Normally it's just I feel like all right, we play through it and it's done. And not that there's anything wrong with that, not that they're
Right.
trying to make money on that, but to relate it to Arc Raiders, right?
Hmm.
Never have I felt a game like I did with Destiny and felt like, hey, I want to keep playing this. I want to learn more about the lore and the story, and I'm not typically a third person player kind of guy. I love the first
Hmm.
person shooter, but the
Hmm.
way that they handled the third person feels great. And
Yes.
I'm an Xbox, I go back. I don't play keyboard mouse. I tried doing it I just got a computer within the last like year, and it's great, but I still want a controller. I'm using a controller. That's how I'm built. I'm sorry. It's what it's it, I will take a
All
new one
right,
of these.
right by the
I
PC.
will take one of these whenever they decide to make a new one. I'm all about it.
Yes, 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 yes.
But yeah, it's just like Arc Raiders Embark came out and they said we want this to be a 10-year game. That was like their
Mm.
thing out the gate before, I
Oh
think
wow.
even before it launched. They put out
Wow.
and it's a great little documentary. It's 3 episodes. You should watch it if you ever have the
Okay.
time. I know you usually
Yeah.
don't, but it's Discovering Arc Raiders, right? I
Okay.
think that's the title for it, and it's on their channel, but
Mhm.
they did 3 parts of like how this game came about, right?
Mm.
And they mentioned that they wanted it to be a long lasting game, and year one started off phenomenal. People loved this game. People as soon as they started, they were like, "Oh my goodness, it's a distraction shooter. It feels awesome. We're doing this. It's great." We're over half a year into the game, and now numbers are falling off. Now I know
Mm.
that that's happened in all games. I don't think anybody should have to play one game, although I do that from time to time. Um, but what can they do to
Mhm.
follow the Bungie system? Like
Mm.
and for me it's building lore, it's
Yes.
making you know content that is involving more than just two other people, because when
Mhm.
you have that 6 person activity, it's playing the game. But what would make you want to play the game? Like, I know
Yeah.
that it's not like an extraction shooter is niche, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's tough, but it's
Mhm.
essentially a looter shooter. At the end of
Mhm.
every season in Destiny, up there's new roles that are better than the ones you had before. You have to grind for them anyway. Up there's a new skill set you have to go. So it's very similar, just you
Mhm.
don't have to like leave without dying every time to get the loot that you have. So
Yeah.
you have any insight that like Embark could work on? Is it like what could they do to
No,
be
it's a great
be like
question.
Bungie?
Yeah, it's a great question because I mean, I think for me is they need, and it's gonna sound arrogant, but I think they
Please.
need me because I'm the target demographic that is not really consistent, not really playing. I'm obviously I played with you for the first time, discovered the game, and I'm like, wow, this is actually way more fun than I thought. And thanks to you, because I would have never tried it. Because again, I think the term extraction shooter is intimidating to a casual person who's not familiar. Now,
Right.
this is the most popular extraction shooter. And I feel like what they did fantastic was the little pocket thing where it's like, okay, carry something through so that you have less of a penalty. You feel less as, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything every single
It,
time
it,
kind of thing.
it wasn't all for
Right.
nothing.
Exactly. And then you got the skill tree, which I thought was amazing. You could really build into the stuff, and what obviously the world and the AI, great stuff. Like the machines, everything is fantastic. It's one of the best extraction shooters, and it's a ton of fun. In order to get a guy like me, I think what they would have to do is probably one, expand on the lore, right, where it's like story beats or something. Not that it's got to be some PvE kind of mode, but they've got to do something where it's like what I consider like has some real big world event, right? You go, oh
Right.
my God, this is going on in the world. You need to log into that. Now, the other stuff is silly, but I think it's gonna. I don't know if you're gonna like it,
Right.
but one of the reasons why I love Destiny so much, right? You do an activity and you get some very unique loot, but you also get unique armor and designs. I think they got to lean into it, and it's kind of tough because I understand the world of Arc Raiders is harsh. It almost feels like, grimy, post-apocalyptic. The world is over. The machines have taken over. But I
Right.
feel like if they had activities where it's like you get some cool, armor that matches the machine. I need to look fly. You know me. I
Hey, you
like
gotta look
Destiny.
good. Yeah,
As a
Destiny
warlock,
is where it is. Yeah.
bro. So you know me. I got my outfits for each class, and this is matching that. Don't give me the dusty poncho, and I'm not. No,
Well,
I don't want to. Yeah,
to
okay, please
jump to
educate me.
I'm all about that. To jump on with that, it's like
Mhm.
so it's an extraction shooter. You wipe, your stuff. You have the ability to wipe your stuff every 90 days or whatever they decide for the cycle to be, right?
Mhm.
Give me stuff that I can earn in each round or by killing something or that you hold on to and you keep it and it's like in game. It's not like, oh, I just bought this in the store. But it's
Yes,
and I'm with you. The Destiny, I think they have so many
Destiny,
cosmetics.
bro.
The other thing that they don't do, and I know you like this wouldn't be a thing for you, but they don't let you mix and match. It's like you get a set. How hard would it be? Like I want this helmet for this, and put that just like in Destiny. Just let me
There you
be more unique
go.
because I want myself to feel like I'm unique compared to everybody else out there instead
Yes.
of just a form fitting set,
Yes,
right?
100. You nailed it. You have to allow player expression,
Right.
and part of player expression is like you said. Don't just give me the whole set. Let me be very specific down to the T. So that's my Arc Raider. That's the guy I'm
Right.
running with, and he's so unique. And then obviously, I understand it's tough because for the purists, I don't want to be disrespectful to you guys. And like, I'm coming in there and I'm wearing all type of crazy things that may necessarily not fit the theme of the world, but that you have to allow some form of
Right.
creativity that
I,
is earned in game.
yeah,
I feel and allow me to
I don't need
customize it.
Snoop Dogg there, right? Like you don't have to have
Exactly.
it,
We don't
but
need
like,
the
but
Nicki
right.
Minaj
That was the
skin.
next one I was gonna say. You don't need that, but you should
Yes.
have something that feels unique to what you've done
Yes.
or achieved in like. I love wearing my Taken King set
Bro,
because
it's
I
a
love that. It's
flex.
still on. I still have it on. I've been
Bro.
monochromatic. I'm looking good. And that's just what I like
Yeah.
to wear.
Think
So
about it. Change
same,
not to cut you, but you just nailed
please.
it. You know, armor, shaders, right? That's another thing about Destiny. That like changing the color of something existing so that it's so unique. Also, the think about the emblem in Destiny. Just
Right.
that was the biggest flex. Yo, you beat this, and
Oh
you've
yeah.
got that day. What we that's what Arc Raiders got to lean into, so that you can get the casual to say, okay, this investment was worth something, and I get to
Right.
show it off. It's a bit of a bragging rights, but it encourages that type of expression.
And then on top of that, where I would sit would be like titles and having a title above your head because you earned it. And the emblem is huge because finishing that raid felt amazing. Every time you killed one of the big arc, if you got, hey, you killed this queen, you have that emblem and you get a number 1 next to it, up to like, 1,000,000 that you've killed this many of them or a part of killing or
Yeah.
some sort of status of, hey, I did this instead of it just being like, all right, throw everything away and then jump back next season and
Facts.
go through.
Facts. Same thing with playstyles. Like one thing that's dope about Arc Raiders is like the whole idea of okay, friend or foe, right? So
Right.
let's just say, one thing I know as we play with you, you are really cool and really like you be like, hey, friendly, friendly, friendly,
Yeah,
friendly.
yeah, yeah.
And like before you walk into the room, and they be like, all right, what you want got? So imagine like based on your play style, there is something with enough extractions with friendlies, you get this title that is like,
Right.
whatever. I mean, cool dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
you whatever, you cool dude, because this is your reputation. You have helped so many people, and now
Oh.
you can represent that in game.
So
You
you're
know what I
like you're
mean?
jumping into like Fable, like the horns and the halo, like that'd be kind of good. Like you'd be, hey, you know what? I can probably trust this guy because he has this. But you imagine the
And
guy
it's
that
proven.
imagine the guy that
Yeah.
does it though, and then goes the other
Yeah.
way. He's like,
All the way
yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah. Oh, by the
yeah.
way, nope, you're dead.
Nah,
Sorry.
son, you look at them horns in your head. You've been known to shice people, son.
Right.
Like,
Not today.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
I
give people the
love it.
option. Yeah, give people the option. If they want to wear it, they can wear it. If they have a locked in, stuff like that. This way you lead into all those different things. And I think for me, this is probably another little controversial thing because people will say what I'm about to suggest will split the player base. And it may be right. But I think you also need like one additional mode.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that mode would be per se. So I don't have it. But you need something that outside of the extraction point, something that you could do together. I don't know, and it kind of like just another game within the game, kind of
Right.
thing. And I think
Well,
that would be kind of cool as well.
agreed. And one thing that we've tried to touch on, and I'm really hoping these devs are listening to us, because a big thing for the game are major map conditions, right? You can click any map, but there could be a queen or a matriarch on that map. Well, why not have a map condition that is all PvP or all PvE, or like PvP or PvE focused, and then also one that is, say, hey, this map condition, you get 6 players that you can go in with, and also a map condition where it can be like, hey, this is a raid for this map condition, and they have so much potential, and that's why I try to parallel to Destiny 1 year 1, because there's so many things that they could do if they put their resources in the right spot. Now, I know that they just got backed by a much bigger company. I forget what I can't think of what it is, but I hope that they're not thinking that, oh, you know what, we made all of our money, we don't need to do it anymore. Because out the gate, if you're saying, hey, I want to be a 10-year game, I want to keep moving with this, if the people are enjoying it, there's so much money to make in an already made game, right? I mean, the game costs $40 to buy.
Yeah.
If every year they said, hey, it's 40 more bucks for an expansion that gave you some storyline, some campaign, and some additional stuff, I would pay $40. That's where another thing I think Destiny did wrong was they're like, okay, you get the expansion, you also have to pay for the season pass. Also, if you want the cosmetics, you got to go to the store. And don't get me wrong, I am 100%.
Speaking of store,
yeah, I'm the problem. I know. I will buy it, and I do it in Arc Raiders too. I'm like, oh, that's a new one this week. Let's click that sucker. I look great now.
Shout out to you for helping Bungie through all the years,
exactly. Yeah,
you helped fund the
what?
studio.
Yeah,
I want to
Bungie.
give you your flowers, bro.
Thank
I want to
you.
give you your flowers.
Where's my title for that? Where's my Eververse shopper title? I should Eververse black card, Eververse platinum card. Where's that at? But I think that if they're not already trying to get you for all your money in this game, but they could get you for a little bit. Give us every year, give us an expansion that's a little bit of a campaign, a little bit story, and give us those map conditions where we can play with 6 people, because sometimes a 3-person activity isn't enough. Like, how many friends, well, I'm not saying we have millions of friends, but like sometimes you want to play with more than just the 2 other people. And multiple times I've gone in and be like, oh, they're already in a group of 3. All right, I'll just go do my solo thing. But I'm here to talk and play with people, right? Which is why Destiny was always so great, because there was always something to do with more than just those 2 other people if you wanted to, right? It's like, oh, there's 5 of us on. Let's get a ray gun. We'll grab a random, or I'll call the person from England 100 times until he wakes up. Like, it's just. So I really hope that they can hit that and not. It doesn't. It's an extraction shooter, but it could evolve, right? It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's so close to a looter shooter already, because you're looting and you're shooting and then you're just leaving. That's the only difference, is that you leave at the end of it to keep your stuff. Now, again, there's no random rules and there's nothing like that, but doesn't need to be the same game. It could just be evolved a little bit. It doesn't need to be Tarkov. It doesn't need to be Marathon. It can be its own thing. So
I agree. And I like your suggestion in reference to getting the player count up, getting activities with the player counts up, because you're right. That's one of the things that, like I said, as former Destiny players, where, you sit there and you go, man, it's 4 of us on right now. I remember, during the days of what was it? Escalation Protocol.
So good.
Bro, remember? And this is where Destiny didn't have anything more than we forced this to happen, where we could get like multiple people to come in here and play like 10 to 12 people on activity. And that's why, for me, when we did Last Word, and we had, I believe the gentleman's name is Jimmy Myers, who was the lead director for the Incision mission, I will never forget. That was one of my dream things in Destiny, which was like, hey, there's a 12-player activity, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is like, people tell me, yo, the game's not over. The raid's beat, but the game's not over. I'm like, really? They were like, yo, Carl, come on, you gotta log in. And that was one of the peak moments in gaming. Not only was it the activity, the fact that all the people of all the NPCs that were our friends all over the years are fighting alongside us.
That big moment, it felt so good, right?
That was Avengers Endgame, bro. Like, that was it. Assemble. Like, this is it. It was on your left. Let's go. Like, bro, it doesn't get any better. And that's the final mission, to the witness. So what I would like them to do is kind of dive more into the lore, like you said, maybe world events that's happened, bosses that happen, the machines are on the rise, this new threat. Hey, a couple more people were needed in this activity to go in there and see if you could, and even if you have to extract after, it's just something to kind of keep that going. I think to really get a guy like me who is casual to be like, okay, I want
I'll
to
jump
partake
in.
in that. Yeah,
Right.
that looks pretty cool.
Now, do you think, right? So we're fighting machines right now. Do you think
Hmm.
maybe in this universe, in this world, right, the Traveler, because the Great Machine, right, just was like, you know what, nah, and it was like to the dark side. Let's throw all these robots down, and we're taking over, and so maybe the Traveler is in Arc Raiders somewhere.
The
It
Lord.
could happen. I'll talk to the Lore team and over at
All right.
Embark and see what they're
Well,
saying.
hey, the Lord team for Destiny need work, so
That's true. That's true.
they could be looking
A
for.
crossover action. Here we go. Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
All right. So last Destiny, and thank you for talking some Arc Raiders with me.
No,
And
of course,
I've
bro.
held
Of
you
course.
for over an hour, and I know you normally do 18-hour podcasts,
Of
so I
course,
know
of
this
course.
isn't
But
too long for you.
you're
But
my bro. You're the
yeah,
bestie. And this is long overdue. So we had to talk. We know we
but
was gonna talk.
I very much appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
What do you think? Do you think we get a Destiny 3 ever?
It don't look good, bro. It
You
don't
see,
look good.
you're on
Yeah.
the not happening side right now. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna be optimistic. I'm saying we get it because Sony's gonna be like, oh well, we could probably make some money off of it.
I mean, I hope so. It's not out of the realm of impossibility. It's tough, bro. It's tough. I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm in mourning still. I'm in
Yeah,
mourning. I am going through it. This is a very emotional time for me. I am not ashamed to say, as a grown man, I've shed tears multiple times, and the reason being is it's a frustrating situation because as
right.
more information starts to come out, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to see Paul Tassie's article for like the two reasons as to why Destiny
Uh,
really is dead. And one of the reasons, obviously, the first one is the business, how expensive it would be to do a D3, right? And that's real, right? I'm not going to
right.
sit there and fault Sony for saying, okay, 500 million or whatever this number is to do it. But the second one is really a shame, and that is, you know, when basically what they were saying is Destiny during its life cycle was rarely profitable, minus two or three times, right? So let's just say that two or three times was like Witch Queen, I
Taken
don't
King.
know, Taken King, Forsaken. I'm just making it up. They said it was only got like three or four times where Destiny was actually profitable.
Those are probably the right ones though. If you the
If I'm, yeah, we guess it right.
so
Probably if
it's
it,
probably a good guess, but yeah.
yeah, probably good educated guess for both of us, right? So let's just say those times. So what the stakeholders chose to do is instead of reinvesting in Destiny, they put all the money, spread it out, all these incubation projects, and got their eyes wide. Like, oh, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do all these other things other than Destiny. And we're gonna be huge, and we're gonna buy a whole new building for no reason. So they've expanded too quickly, took their eye off the ball of their moneymaker
Right.
to then expand into these projects that ended up not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Matter and Gummy Bears and all these other projects. And then obviously just the spending. And then obviously what it comes down to is corporate greed from the stakeholders. I ain't gonna somebody name, say I ain't gonna say names, but people who have big car collections, you know what I'm
Right. Yeah.
saying?
Don't go buy a new car now.
Don't
Exactly.
how
Yeah.
about not
Right. Yeah.
show off your
Right.
7 cars? And
Right.
the sad part is the developers who were fighting for us and all the things we wanted and we complained about and stuff like that, they were taking our feedback to the stakeholders saying, look, this is what the players want. They want this, they want that. No, they shouldn't get that. Let's over monetize them. Let's put the money in these other places of things that make absolutely no sense. And that's how we'll do it. And that's what ended up killing Destiny. And then you have a
Yeah.
Sony who, let's be honest, they're not happy with Bungie,
Well, we're not
you
happy
know.
with Sony right now, so
True, but the thing is, in fairness, one part I have to be fair to Sony is that Bungie stakeholders sold them a dream of how profitable things were, how great they were. So they were lied to. It's like you
oh
bought a
yeah,
lemon. Someone
yeah.
said, "Yo, I got a Ferrari. Look at the engine,
Mm-hmm.
bro. Look at all," and then you get it. You're like, "Oh, that's a lemon.
Yeah.
That's not." So that's what's happened. And then the thing now, here's where I am with you, where I am frustrated with Sony. The part that I'm frustrated now, but okay, I get it. Destiny's gonna cost a lot. I get that. However, they have just publicly made a statement on their financial call. The new president, whatever CEO, Nishino, whatever, says we want to continue making live service games because the purpose of live service, we just need one to break the. Bro, you literally have one of the most popular MMO slash looter shooters in the history of gaming that has an incumbent thirsty base who's thriving for a new game.
Right.
You have the power to green like this. So my thing is, it's inexcusable on one hand to say I'm shutting them down, but then we still desperate for a live service game. That don't make no sense to me.
You're contradicting so much.
You're contradicting, yeah. So at that point, I'm like, well, what you're telling me is you want a success, but you're cheap and you don't want to invest in sex. So you want to do these small little, hey, let's do Concord. Oh, well, Concord was a cheap one. Concord was a big failure. But, I guess the next one is Fair Games and all these little, I don't want to disrespect Fair Games, I don't know it, but basically inexpensive games and you're hoping it blows up and becomes something when you literally have one of the most popular looter shooters in the history of looter shooting, and you've dismantled the studio. So
that people obviously go back and pay for, and I'm sure that they could rework it to a point where it's like, okay, we can make it profitable, right? There's got to be a way to make this game. People are going to spend money. I mean, and did you sign the petition? Did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
I
Me as well. I just wanted to make sure, just gonna check in
No,
case
bro,
I have to send it over to you. I signed it 5 times. So
Listen, man, when I love, me, I love something. I love hard. I'm a very loyal person. And I said, look, it doesn't look good, but if this is any chance I could do to save the game that I love, the game that, bro, I tell people all the time, I wouldn't exist without Destiny. Like Lord Cognito in the form, like my namesake is from that. My podcast is from that. I don't become a content creator. I don't meet Lord Addict. Like literally, I would not exist if Destiny doesn't exist.
Right.
Like this stems back to my deeper love because I wouldn't become Xbox if it wasn't for Halo. Right.
Right.
Xbox came out on my birthday in New York on November 15th. Halo was on my birthday in November 15th. You understand the deep connection I have? This is deep, bro. I owe everything to Bungie, and I'm very appreciative. So this is losing a family member. This is big for everyone else. Oh, bro, get over it. You can still play the game. That's not the point.
Right.
The point is we are killing what I consider something that is what I consider luminaries in generational knowledge, people who've created the games that had transformed gaming and changed lives and things like that. We're killing this. Like this is a moment that is going to be erased forever, and people don't truly understand the significance of it. And that's what I'm telling people, because for the people who don't like Destiny, I say, look, that's cool. You don't like it, but there's going to be a point when the thing that you love goes away and is shut down, and it's up to you to learn how to be respectful, because those moments you're gonna cherish and you're gonna miss them, bro. Me and you gonna be old men sitting somewhere like, yo, remember that time when you
you better believe it.
You know what I'm saying? That's life.
It's and for this one, and like you said, it was so unique. It was such a change in the world of game. It was an MMO, and the memories and the friendships and the amount of things you did. I talked to Mickey. Remember that night? Remember that night we stayed up all night? It's like we were DJ. We were like, all right, DJ, you take a 10-minute nap. We'll run the strike. You wake back up and do this. And it's like there's just all of those memories that you have and the friendships that were built on this game, which I don't know if we did it earlier, but we did a little bit, but it was more slander. But Tie Guy Travis, because he's the reason that I talked to you at all, because he was like, oh, you get the bigger celebs out there instead of me. He's a little salty on that one. So
how did you go back? Let's back up a second.
Yeah.
How did you find me?
So I found you. So Tie Guy Travis was on Fireteam Chat, and he was talking about, because he's an Xbox guy, right? That was his big thing on the Fireteam. And so I just, he's on Xbox. I was like, hey buddy, I have a pretty good group if you ever want to come run a raid, like. And he just reached back out and was like, yeah, man, like I'd love to. And then he had the connection with this is the plebs. This is the plebs. And it's funny because like I'm in, and I should have done it while we were playing you in Trials, but I'm like, guys, don't fucking ruin this for me. Like we're playing with, he's on Fireteam Chat. Don't act a fool. And of course, Tapedo is the one acting a fool, and I Travis loved it though. He was all about
he loved
he was
every
all
se-
about
he
the
loved
messiness.
every.
He was all about
Oh
the
yeah, he loved it.
and he just kept coming back, and we kept doing stuff, and he was able to pick on Simple, and he loved that, and it was just such a good.
Oh, okay.
And then it was, you know, to Cog after that, and then I think shortly after that, then Ty Guy joined. Last Word after that.
Last Word, because that now the timeline makes sense, because I joined Fire T Chat. That's when I met him, and I'm like, yo,
That's
he's
what it
cool as
was.
hell.
Yeah.
When I guested on Fire T Chat, he was there, and him and Destiny, and I'm like, oh, he's cool as hell. And I was seeing those Destiny, and then as we continued to go on, I think what's happened is I got big. E got big. We both got busy. We like, yo, we kind of need a third person, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's what's like, yo, let's reach out, because we had him on as a guest, and then we brought him in. We like, yo, we gotta have Tiger, and then he becomes the third chair for Last Word. So that's where it's full circle with all of us. Okay, that makes sense.
And again, shout out to him, because he was always so cool. So
yes,
and meeting him in Florida too, and like he puts on a persona, but he's a sweetheart. He's it's all the love, all the love. So
facts.
But it's I'm sad. I'm sad about this. We'll I've been talking to the boys. I've been reaching out to Sin and Wilhelm and everybody, and
Same.
we'll let's make a big Destiny night happen sometime here.
My only request, it has to be me, you, Sinister,
yes,
Addict, Scream, and then we could pick a 6. But these are the 5. Look, I purposely did this because this is the end. There's the final update. There's no more Destiny new content, right? So because I was sad about it, it's like I want to savor it.
I've done that before. I get it. I'm not watching that last episode of that TV show because I want to
do that. You know how you like, yo, I'm not watching that last episode until the bestie or wifey. So
it's not over.
Yes, it's not over. It's exactly. So my request is I never did the Salvation's Edge, the one that you actually fight the witness. I've never done that. I have avoided that raid. Because I said, I've never jumped in. I've never seen it.
I love that raid so much.
So I said, I've done Incision, because I was like, all right, it's 12 players. Okay, fine. But the raid, I saved that for you guys. I've done that.
Okay.
Pantheon, I saved that for you guys. I want to do that, the new Pantheon, and all that stuff that's coming out. And then just a couple of little strike. I haven't done the exotic mission, the new exotic, whatever this new exotic.
So we should jump in that.
So
we should make that a thing. Agreed.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll make it happen. I'll put out the bat signal, and we'll get some stuff going. Any games you're playing at the moment before we
Man, I play so much. That's the thing now. Now I'm this full-time content creator. You get access to everything, and now it's like, okay, what can I talk about? What can I not talk about?
All right, so don't talk about any. He's not playing any games.
I'm playing some really cool games that I'm really excited to eventually talk about. You know what I'm saying, in the future. Been playing little side games. This game called, I don't know if you've played this game called The Altars that I like.
Okay.
I've been playing. Man, there's so many games I'm playing, bro. So many. It's to the point now. Again, not complaining. But what happens is when you start to grow in profile and in media, now I'm an NDA warrior. Now I get the stuff ahead of time, 2-3 months, 2 weeks early and stuff like that. And then I get a chance to preview and review it. There is a game I'm coming out that it's very excited to talk about that, you'll see some content on, obviously, LordsGaming.net, Iron Lords Podcast, and obviously Defining Duke and stuff like that. But, bro, it's just really cool, man. I'm very, very fortunate to be able to, do the things I'm doing. And man, obviously, I haven't got support from guys like you, who's always been in my corner from day one, always been in the chat, always been, shows tremendous love. Like, bro, I seriously appreciate you because, it's outside of just gaming, we're friends. And it's, I say exactly, big heart energy. So I want to, finally come on here and show some support because you're jumping in his face. You got the fever for content creation.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm here for the fun. So
absolutely, that's what it's about.
No, and I'm still, I'm still on Patreon. I still get I get the emails all the time. Defining Duke. Every day, every time. But no, I appreciate you being here, and it's all the big love, and I'll make you. We'll get Scream on here and Sin at one time, and we'll do a cute little. But I had to have my one-on-one first before I hear
bestie
before
time.
But we'll make that happen. I appreciate you, and we'll get back. I know there was a real small update for Arc Raiders today. So
Yeah,
I'll
what's
put
going
out
on? Yeah, just educate me.
just an store update, and this is the last thing I have between Destiny and Arc Raiders is that the community information is nice. That they do seem to update you every week, and they give you some details. Now it's been a little lackluster recently for Arc Raiders, but it's nice that they have that community touch and they reach out and they let you know what's going on, and we're working on the cheaters and we're trying to do this, and all the glitches in the game we're trying to make Wilhelm mad about that we're going to fix, and so that is nice. But just a little update on the store. I'll put out a little short form video because I've been enjoying making those. I'm ripping off a good buddy of mine. His name's Wilhelm Scream, and
I saw that.
and because we got a little vendor in the store, but I'll put another one of those out this week, and we'll make some Destiny stuff happen. But anything else for you? Besides stopping in every Sunday to check out ILP and Defining Duke? Got anything else for me?
Yeah, no, just same old stuff, man. Again, Arnold's podcast every Sunday is the Lord's Day, 1 p.m. Eastern. Catch us talking games, having a good time, going extremely long. And so if you got a long drive, you're bored, and you need something to kill some time, because you always see DZ in the chat. It's 2 more hours.
It's 2 more hours. Yeah, my Sundays are work days. I always have it on, and I always ask for more time. So
yeah. So if you're one of those guys who like a long form podcast, you definitely come check us out. Actually, we're talking about Xbox, talking about PlayStation, to tell all the latest in the industry, all the craziness that's about to go down. Is layoffs? It's not sounding good for a lot of games, which I'm very nervous about. It better not be no State of Decay, because I'm tight. I'm very excited for State of Decay 3. I'm very upset. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, but we got that. And then obviously, if you want an Xbox specific podcast, you got obviously Defining Duke, me and Mr. Matty Plays. But also, I want to shout out lordsofgaming.net, man. Independent website, media credentials, press, and go check out the articles. Go check out what we got going on. The support means a lot. That helps us get into events and shows and stuff like that. And then, yeah, we're just going to continue on, brother. We got more stuff planned. Oh, and then one more thing. We got, I forgot to mention, we got, since then, so many things I do, I forgot. We have Lords After Dark.
After Dark.
Yeah, Lords After Dark, where it's a little more loose and it's not bow tied up, and it's a little, the drinks are flowing and the conversation's a little more raw.
That sounds like my kind of show. Yeah,
you would like Lords After Dark. So check us out there on the Insider Gaming app. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Tom Henderson and the crew, man. Great guys. And they were like, hey, would you be opposed to doing a show like that? I'm like, you gotta ask me twice. That's not at all. That's not at all, man. So yeah, that one's fun to do as well. That one is usually, we record on Fridays. It usually comes out on the Insider Gaming app on Tuesdays. You catch it in your Google Store or your Apple, Play, whatever. So right now, those are the formats you can catch it on. I think eventually they're thinking about doing because it's actually in video form though. It's in video. It's not just audio. It's in video. So you'll see us, but it's just right now it's exclusive to the app.
Okay, I love it. That's awesome. All right, well, I will check that out. We will force you to come back. We'll get Addict on here. We'll get Wilhelm. Yes. We'll get Sin. We'll get we'll get a fire team chat on here at some point, and make it happen. But
absolutely, brother.
I appreciate you, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. I know this. I'm trying. You want to do 2 more hours? No. Let's hop off here. I appreciate everybody. Thanks. Please like and comment and subscribe and all that nonsense. We will be back next Tuesday with like a little bit of a more Arc Raiders centric pod, but this was necessary because this is like where my gaming family is. So love you all. Thank you for checking in, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Cog.
Thank you.